All right, good evening. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Thank you everyone for being here. Today is Tuesday, June 24th, and you are at the Bremerton Parks and Recreation Commission. This is our regular monthly meeting. Thank you for being here. My name is Ben Bennett, and I'm the chair of this commission. Thank you for those that joined remotely. Appreciate you being here, Commissioner. First thing we have up is approval of minutes from our last meeting, which was May 27th. Hope the other commissioners have had a chance to review those minutes. And Commissioner Waterman, I would just ask that you refrain from, approving or saying anything on the minutes, honestly. As you were not present.
Yeah, no, either.
But with that, I will make a motion to approve the minutes for May 27th as presented. All right, got a second on that? All in favor of approving the minutes from May 27th, please say aye. Aye. All right, thank you, Commissioner McDonald. That will pass unanimously. Thank you. All right, and then next up, we have approval of tonight's agenda. So hopefully everyone has had a chance to review tonight's agenda. And
When what?
anybody got any questions or? Oh, okay.
It made the note. Yeah. Yeah, I just don't want anybody to have to,
Oh, okay. It's not picking up priorities.
the eyes are. Right now.
Can you guys hear us online all right, though?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, they're just having to look at
That's
me.
Okay.
It's a pretty picture.
We approve the agenda for tonight's meeting.
All right. I will second that. All in favor of approving tonight's agenda, please say aye.
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 Aye. All right. Anyone opposed, say nay. And that will approve unanimously as well. Thank you.
Oh, let me see.
Okay, next up, we have public comment. So this is the public's chance, if anyone is here tonight, not that you have to say anything, but if you would like to address the commission,
There we go.
now's your chance. If you would like to do that, please just identify yourself and I will give you the floor. Oh, no, you're fine right there. Yeah, okay. My name is Ken Philibon.
So Ken, if you could just, maybe you come a little bit
Maybe a
closer,
little closer so the-
just so we can pick up, just so they can hear you
Yeah.
at home. Yeah,
Yes.
we're fairly informal.
Yeah.
My name is Penny Billabong, for those people online. I live here in Bremerton and I am the president of the Bike Polo Club here. I started it last year. And are looking for a place. Struggling to find place to hold our normal pickup. It seems like we've been kicked out of most parking lots and open spaces all through downtown Bremerton. Currently, we play overflow parking lot that's on the corner of 11th and Elizabeth. It's the overflow for OC College. And we've been playing there every single Thursday. We meet at the farmer's market and we play there as a group. So my concern is having a place that's approved.
Kenny, did you say bipolo? Is that what you?
Bike polo.
Bipolo. Oh, okay, I
That's a
misheard
new
you.
thing.
I'm sorry.
I never heard.
So
of
could
it.
you explain that to
Been
the
around a
commission,
while.
please, a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I can share a little bit.
Yeah.
And then
Bipolo.
also I can't really go on all the history here and just take it as a homework perhaps to look it up
Okay.
afterwards. But bike polo is essentially polo without horses, bikes. Popularized in the 90s in Seattle. And I'm part of the club in Seattle. I've been traveling there, taking the ferry and attending their meetings, and I decided I'm kind of tired of doing that and I wish there were something over here. So took it upon myself to start something. So I started a club and we've had perhaps like 30 some people in the club, but only maybe like 10 show up regularly or so. And bike polo is very similar. It's less than polo because it's since it's evolved a little bit. We play a hard court version. So it's on a hard surface. It's typically 3-on-3. We're all on bikes. We try to stay on. We have mallets and a ball. And just like most goal sports, whoever scores the most goals wins. And games are 15 minutes or so. And I mean, it's as much as a fun sport to play than it is to, to spectate. And you can, you're watching this, the first time I had experience of watching this, I was kind of impressed how people can move around on a bike just with one hand. Invite everyone here to come check it out. Okay, I said before, we meet on Thursdays at the farmer's market at 5 or so, and then we ride to the court at 6. The court is a block away from the farmer's
Kenny, I imagine this is played on a flat, like the parking lot you are using is flat.
market. Correct.
Have you identified somewhere in the park, in the city park area, something that the Parks and Rec owns that you're interested in getting our approval on?
I mean, I know other cities, other major cities have bike polo clubs, and they have organized, I think it might be early for our group, but they have organized with the city and to create courts that is bike polo specific. So lots of the courts that we need is not just the space, but we need a perimeter. This could be fencing, this could be kind of like a roller rink where there's actual like physical boards, just to kind of contain the ball and also the people playing. It provides safety, and also it just kind of isolates the area.
So that court you're using does have a fence, then you can contain the ball then, right?
Yeah, currently at this location we're at, it has a perimeter of 3 walls, and then the 4th wall is the back.
Yeah, okay, I'm familiar with that.
Yes.
Kenny, how big is the court, the actual court here? The regulated size.
I can give you more specific on regulation size if you wanna
Yeah.
get
It says,
get back to you, but it does have rules and regulations if you wanna,
Compete.
like
Okay.
to
So you're,
attract tournaments,
for clarity, you're looking for asphalt and not grass.
not grass. So asphalt or what is it? Like concrete,
Right,
tennis
yeah,
court
there's
surface.
just 2 different versions of it.
So I think the preferred type of surface would be a finished court, like a tennis court.
So
Exactly.
that
Would be the
you'd be looking
preferred.
at 490 feet by 330 feet, otherwise 150 by 100.
Yeah, I mean, right around roughly the size of a tennis court is the ideal. So,
Okay,
so the surface, like I mentioned, it should be flat. Concrete is the best. Also, not just concrete, but like where it's reinforced. Just longevity. We noticed the courts in Seattle, we play at Judkins Park, and it is a retired tennis courts, and served them well for many years. I just noticed with courts that are asphalt, over time, the wear and tear of just like the asphalt itself, it shifts and moves, rain gets to it, freezes over, just breaks apart. Right now, we play on asphalt, sufficient.
Guess we'll have to think about this, huh?
Yeah, and so just so you're aware, the commission's aware, Kenny and I have spoke.
Great,
And Kenny's reached out to the mayor too, so both
Great.
of us are aware of the interest, and
great,
so mayor and I have been talking too.
great, Kenny. Hey, thank you for being here.
Yep.
Any other commissioners have any questions?
yeah, I was thinking, the city owns a decommissioned water tank at East 16th and Ironsides. And we tried to sell it, but we never could. But it was an old tennis court and it's totally flat. And, just seems like an unused thing right now. And when we tried to sell it, actually the neighbors didn't want it sold because they didn't want it developed into housing. So maybe just look at East 16th and Ironsides. It's an old abandoned water tank, but it's totally flat on top because we did use it as a tennis court at one time.
Yes, can I respond to that?
Yes, please.
Hey, Jim, Kenny again.
Yeah.
You have been to a location. We've played there before. We, as a club, have nicknamed that place Iron Sights. And we have played on it. The surface is a little chunky. I mean, over time, the water just pulled in there and just eats away at the surface. So it is flat, but it may not be flat enough. It eats up our mallets and also our tires after some time. But we like that area. Another downside to that section is there's no, I guess, availability to restrooms. The closest thing would be that park that's attached to the senior center.
Yeah.
That's not always open and it's ideally it'd be like we need to have a restroom that's closer.
Yeah, commissioners have any other questions or comments on this? I gotta do some research on this myself. I never heard of Pikeville. Kenny, thank you for being here and talking to the commission about this.
Yes, thank you. I have one question, actually. Have you checked out that old reservoir that's off of Sheridan Road near Sheridan and Cherry? Is that large enough for your needs?
Sheraton,
Cherry, the property belongs to the hospital. It's being sold. The reservoir belongs to the city. It's fenced. Used to have basketball courts, but they removed those.
Across the street from the baseball field.
Yes,
Okay,
from the Legion baseball field.
Big round,
I guess.
big round,
All Legion.
ground level reservoir.
okay, and it's in a big field.
Mhm.
I think that area there's a fencing around it. And
Yeah.
there's like barbed wire fencing.
Yes, it's not allowed, it's not open for use
Yeah,
right now.
Okay.
It's not accessible, but I would like to check it out if I had the opportunity.
Yeah, go look at it.
Yeah, they just mowed everything down this last weekend, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's an old reservoir.
Yeah, yeah, it's a below ground reservoir.
Mhm.
Yeah, great spots. I just
Yeah.
need to check the surface again.
Sure.
That can be resurfaced perhaps.
Yeah, that's key, yeah, that restroom that you're talking. And I'm racking my brain for you, Kenny. I'm pretty familiar with our park system and.
Now you're gonna lay there sleeping tonight.
I know, I am. I'm interested in this. It's pretty neat. I've never heard of that.
Gotta watch it. It's cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
See that.
I know, right? I got to over it. Love it.
And
Great.
some plans that other cities have.
Mhm.
They'll take full of course, but maybe that's a later conversation. Have some printouts here. Leave them you guys you can look at. Thanks.
Yeah, let them know what you think about it, if it's interesting.
Kenny, thanks again for being here. Appreciate it. All right. Yes, please, sir. You could identify yourself. Todd?
Is Matt Kerber. Live on North Lafayette Avenue, adjacent to Forest Ridge Park. And of course Kathy lives next to the park as well.
Yeah.
And I've been there about a year and a half now. So I'm just, been immersing myself in what's been going on with the park over the last, trying to learn about the history of the park, but also just observing what's been going on over the last year and a half that I've been there. And there's a number of issues that need to be addressed. I know that there is probably a park renovation that's going to be scheduled at some point in the future. I have no idea when. I'm not familiar with the renovation plans. I know there's other parks being renovated right now. But hopefully it's not going to be too much longer because that park needs a lot of help. And I think the main issue that I wanted to address is the fact that the park is sort of a dumping ground. People bring in their garbage, their household garbage or their homeless garbage, and furniture and drop it off there in the park. And that happens mostly at night, when the park is supposed to be closed, and there is, still access to the park. People drive in, it seems like they just sort of appear right about dusk, people start showing up, and driving into the park. Most of them are there to drink in the park. There's also a lot of drug use that goes on in the park every day. Picking up drug paraphernalia every day in the park. I generally take a walk in the park every day and pick up trash, and some of that trash is drug paraphernalia and beer cans and whiskey bottles, things like that. There needs to be some kind of well, at the very least, there needs to be a sign at the entrance to the park, which there is not. It says park closed from dusk to dawn. And I don't think that'll discourage the people that go in there for nefarious reasons, but that is one start. I think ultimately the answer is to close the park off at night with a gate. That's a little bit of an issue because there's a gentleman that uses the park road for access to his property. And that is, it probably have to be some kind of electronic gate of some type that he has access to and that the police have access to get into the park. I've recently talked to Joe Sexton at the police department, and he put the bug in the ear of patrol, and they've been doing it a lot more frequently just in the past week. In fact, they had detained somebody in the park a couple nights ago. And so something needs to be done to keep people out of the park at night when it's closed. I think that would be, you know, I don't know if that's something that will have to wait until you do the renovation or whether it'll ever get done. I hope it does something. It wouldn't hurt to put a video surveillance system in as well. I think there is video surveillance at the Boy Scout building, isn't there? Or there's that, okay. I thought they had said, there's a sign up that says video surveillance, but maybe they didn't actually put up a.
I don't think there is, you know, people just do it.
Yeah. Because that building was broken into sometime last year. Yeah, there's a lot of litter in the park. I'd like to see also some kind of cigarette butt containers put up at strategic locations around the park, because every day there's dozens of new cigarette butts scattered throughout the park. I know there's a lot of, it seems like smokers don't consider cigarette butts to be litter, but they are, of course. And that's one issue, plus all the other trash that gets dumped on it, you know, that gets thrown away. Cigarette boxes and you name it, you know, food containers, et cetera, et cetera. The butt containers are pretty cheap. You can get them on Amazon for $37. Or maybe the Parks Department or the city of Bremerton has a metal shop that can fabricate something. I don't know if, you know, what they have. I know they probably do the signs, or maybe they order, I don't know how you get your signs. Do you have to order those through the park, through the city somehow, or do they have to make those outside, or what?
We do have
In the past, yeah, in the past we've ordered them, but with some turnover, I think our relationship with Public Works has gotten better, and they have a sign shop, so we're gonna hopefully start buying the metal signs and then having them made in-house, and so we can customize and.
Besides the park closed from dusk to dawn at the entrance to the park, there's other places around the park where there should be signs as well. No camping signs. I think there's a couple of them, but there should be more in some other strategic locations. Let's see, what else did I have? Homeless is an ongoing issue. There's somebody camped in the park right now as we speak. I know that we're in touch with Common Street Consulting. They're doing they're handling the issue of homeless folks that are trying to establish camps. And there's a number of places in Forest Ridge Park where there have been camps in the past. And people try and come in and set up camp, and we're trying to stay on top of it the best we can. To get Common Street to contact those people and hopefully get them some help in some alternative housing or whatever. There's also a number of trees that need to be cut down in the park. They're holly trees that are huge. Probably, I don't know, 25 foot tall trees. And I'm not sure, we've talked about that before. I'm not sure what the status on that is, but it'd be nice to see them come in and, I mean, we do a lot of invasive species removal, including small holly bushes and ivy and blackberries, but these trees, of course, need to be cut down by Parks Department.
You have a map of the locations.
Yeah, they're right behind my unit, actually. There's 3 of them. They're behind, there's one behind my unit and the units either side of me. And I can certainly, I mean, they're easy to find.
You could put a ribbon around
Yeah,
it, maybe.
I don't know
ribbon,
which your
yeah.
unit is, so
Yeah.
I apologize for that, but we're within the park.
Yeah, it's on the west or the east side of the park, just behind the condominiums on Lafayette Avenue.
Okay.
Putting a ribbon around them would be beneficial, then they could see that they are big, too big for us to remove, so yeah.
Okay. If I had my way, there wouldn't be any smoking allowed in the park at all, because it's a tremendous fire hazard. They drop their lit cigarettes into tinder on the ground that could easily ignite. And I'm just afraid one of these days they're gonna burn the park down, especially with this dry summer like we're projected to have. That's all I have.
Pat, thank you for being here. Any
Yeah.
commissioners have any other questions or comments? Pat, thank you for bringing your concerns to this commission.
Pat, I have a question for you. You have quite an extensive list, which is great and much appreciated. Would it be possible for you to email that to me?
Sure.
So then we can use it as part of the record?
Yeah.
And then that way we don't have to go back, watch the video and try to remember to grab every single thing that you mentioned. Let me see if I can get, I think I stuffed too many business cards in here.
Thanks for bringing that.
You did? Okay.
Appreciate it.
And the only other comment I have is that so we're going through our park rec and open space master plan update this year, which will get hopefully adopted in December by the council. We have identified a lot of things we'd like to see at Forest Ridge. And again, it comes down to funding and priorities. But a lot of the things you hit on, I think, are things that we've been seeing as well. Yeah, so it's not like it's getting ignored. We know.
Yeah.
I mean, even just standing there we were there for maybe an hour, and we went with Michael Goodnow, who is your council liaison for the district. And even the name of the roadway to me makes it seem like it's a parkway, I think is what it's called. The sheer number of people, the sheer number of people that drove in, I think, assuming they could drive through. And having to turn around, so.
A lot of them do go down.
Yeah. Yeah, and even just the general access. So there's a lot of things that you may want to watch when we start to publicize the update for that park, what kind of things we've identified in there too. And then give you a chance to provide some final comment as well. So, yeah, appreciate it.
Pat and Kenny, thanks again. Appreciate both of you taking time out of your day to come here and address this commission. You're free to hang out and watch the rest of this meeting. Or take out. Thanks for being here. And
brought waters.
We're gonna
I
keep
got
moving
waters
now.
in the fridge.
Unless there's anyone online. We got anyone else online director? No?
We're all here.
All right,
Gonna
right
be
on.
here. One other comment I wanted to make is I did think ahead and I brought some water if anybody needs water.
I would love one. Yeah, thank you.
It's a little muggy in here. I'm sure you guys are just all nice and comfortable out in TV land.
Thank you.
Did you want to, you got water? Okay, thank you.
Okay, we're gonna move on to staff reports and updates. We got first up, we got the highlights and hurdles video.
All right. Highlights and hurdles. We tried to,
Tried this last
we
month.
tried it last month, but
Is this the one that would get to 6 seconds? Then or something? Stop. Or-
yes, yes. And so I'm going to do this really quick, not start it yet. Pop back here. Share my screen. Seems like a lot of work for,
Yeah, you got
I
it.
know. And share sound.
There you
I've
go.
learned that. I didn't do that before. I think people just heard it from the TV before. Yeah, learning all sorts of things. Yeah, okay. Can you guys see the video? Amy?
Anybody?
I feel like I can barely hear.
I can
Yeah,
see
it looks
it now.
good.
Oh,
Right.
okay, there you go. Okay. Highlights and hurdles from May. It's our Arbor Day. Tree planting. Our repairs. Filling the pool back up. The $1 million shot right there. This is the second work party with just staff. Kickoff to the farmers market. Then the night market. You haven't been down to it. They've been very busy. First Friday. Yeah. Then the senior center that never seems to be quiet. Just pick the ball here in the center. I don't know if we've talked about this, but we've locked down Warren Avenue restroom for now. Just repeated issues. We have a porta potty there now, but it's getting removed and replaced with another. Yeah, there's various homeless issues. Before they all 230, 240 this year, making baskets. There's a lot of change that's happened. It sounds like trees were just put in
Oh, wow.
this week.
Okay, at Quincy Square.
At Quincy Square, so trees are back in, which is cool.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, a lot of different things going on. Just on the Warren Avenue, just real brief. We decided to go with a portable restroom for now, until we can get issues resolved. Part of the problem, besides the graffiti and destruction you're seeing, various items were getting put down through the toilets and then causing issues at the end with the liner. Anything from Christmas lights to all sorts of things. And so we're actually looking at literally almost putting, it's not a digester, but basically putting in a grinder outside the building to basically grind everything down that's going through before it goes into the line to try to help protect the line. The issue we've run into right now with the portable restroom is the company no longer wants to service Warren Avenue, because their staff are having to take twice as long, because of everything getting put into the unit. They have to remove everything by hand, so clothing, all sorts of other things, because it won't go through their suction. So right now they've agreed to leave it there until we replace them with somebody else, but this is now our fourth company we've worked with in the city, and the repeated issue we run into is the houseless population utilizing or misusing the restrooms. So trying to work with the mayor and figuring out what do we do moving forward. We have community members that come to council and tell council that they want to see restrooms put in, like down at MLK and other areas. And I tell the mayor that I love their enthusiasm and the fact that they work with the houseless population, but my viewpoint is she needs to go on the education front and teach them how to utilize it and use it, and maybe the city may reciprocate and be able to put some more units in if they're properly used. But I mean, this is just one park where we're having this issue. And it's probably going to get better once MLK gets reopened, but it's just going to shift somewhere else. So we don't have a solution necessarily how to best address it besides we had to shut down those restrooms because our staff was spending too much time. And you hate to see something that's nearly brand new just get destructed and it comes out of our budget. And very rarely do we receive insurance, on the back end to supplement what we're spending in those parks.
Are
So
the bathrooms in good working order right now? I mean, some of those pictures look like some things have been destroyed.
They have been,
Yeah.
and the parts are on order.
Okay.
Yeah. Just getting some things together. Yeah. The pieces need to fall.
But as of right now, it is locked. Correct.
and there's signage on it
Yeah.
that says that
Yeah.
they're locked.
Is Warren Avenue Pee-wee's doing anything down there right now? Or
Not
they're
yet.
not
And so
practicing
that's
or
kind of
kinda
the-
thinking they're-
We're hoping by fall we can kind of get some things figured
Yeah.
out. But they've been in contact with us. They're not, they're worried.
Sure.
We
It's-
did,
oh, sorry, go ahead.
yeah, near the end of last fall, did have to reach out and have some communication with them because they rented the field. But then I get it for safety, of their kids and the parents to feel comfortable. The message they give out is that the entire park is closed, which is not true. The field's the only thing that's rented, so people can be on the playground and throughout the park. But I get, it's tough, they want it to be a safe place. But it's also still open to the public at the same time.
Warren, isn't a playground site for our summer program, right?
No,
It's not, okay.
no.
Okay, so not there.
Yep.
Certain things.
Yeah, Blueberry and is it Kiwanis, I think is the other one.
I think,
So go to Manette,
Admiral, mm,
Yeah.
go
What's
to
that?
Manette too.
They may, yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Which starts up next week, the program does, yeah.
They'll bounce back and forth between.
Mhm.
Okay.
And we haven't rented the shelter space at Warren either.
Okay. All right, any other commissioners have any questions or comments on that? Thanks for those
Yeah.
updates and that video. I like those videos.
Yeah,
And then other staff reports and updates, we got Haddon Park and Kitsap Lake.
Was open.
Awesome.
Safety services. Like, we couldn't keep anyone out of there. But Brian is still working with PSC to get them to complete their work, so we don't have electrical yet to finalize the irrigation and lighting to the restroom, but site furniture is in, trees were delivered yesterday. So next week. And We have an interpretive sign on order, so yeah, we're putting the finishing touches on it and planning on a ribbon cutting ceremony in July. Mid-July.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No, just on the site furnishings. If you go to the park, under the shelter right now, we kind of have some temporary furniture from 4th Street. We did have an issue with the picnic tables when they arrived. There was no top to the picnic tables. So we're working through the process, and hopefully we'll get those all taken care of soon. But so we wanted to at least have some furniture up there for people to utilize. But like Brian said, when he drove by this weekend, he said it was almost like a picture perfect setting for an advertisement, because you had people playing basketball, you had a bike at the bike rack, you had kids on the playground. It was getting well used. The parking lot's small, but again, it's meant to be a neighborhood park. And I'm sure once it's open for a while, that the parking issue will, it won't be such a big issue anymore. But yeah, it's great to see people out utilizing it.
Great success.
Yep.
Thank you.
Long process to get that
It
up
has
and
been.
going,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Clutch had a hand in it the whole way, so she's probably glad your Stevie's coming to an end as well. Just to touch on PSC, just for the group, we do have them scheduled, they're on the calendar. We're just wrangling between contractors and subcontractors and PSC scheduled to get them out there on the same time, same date, same place, and we'll get that hooked up. We're kind of bouncing back and forth between early July. So hopefully by this time next month, we will be all thumbs up, ready to go.
Great.
Will there be cake?
I don't know, maybe we'll finally get donuts.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say, all right, and then how about Kitsap Lake? How things going out there?
I'll let you take that one.
Uh-oh.
No,
Oh, it's good.
it's fine.
All right.
Yeah, not much has changed since last meeting. We're exploring a couple of different options with the drainage course in the parking lot. We haven't totally written off the contractor and closed out that yet, so we do have some wiggle room to make that work. We're just kind of looking into it at this point and trying to get some ideas, but that's about all I have to report back on Kitsap Lake at this time. Or did we talk?
Yeah, if
about
anybody's
that?
interested, we'll be out in the boat next week probably.
Mhm.
If anybody wants to do a ride along.
We can just check out the lake.
No, we're gonna put you to work. We're setting boats.
Yeah. We need some divers. No, that we have some missing buoys that we need to get set out. So we're gonna test out the boat. Yeah, apparently.
Does she have a name?
Not
I
yet.
don't know. Yeah. Yeah, so Parks and Rec owns a boat and Public Works utilizes it to do testing out at the lake, and they pay for all the maintenance on it.
We'll have to
But
get
it's
a name
technically
for
our
it.
boat, yeah. Yeah.
Like since it's the first time going out this year, I'm not sure I share that name, but
Yeah.
we'll come up with a name.
I've heard it has a mower or motor. And I asked how many oars it had and they said one. So, yeah.
So bring your own
Yeah.
oar.
Yeah, we're gonna put the GoPro on for that one.
It's something else we're gonna run out.
Mhm. Mhm. Yep.
Additional commerce.
Well, it's exciting.
Getting lots of use though. Tons of use.
One more project to report out on.
Okay, awesome, Brian, please.
The Ivy Green fencing along 15th Street.
Yes.
Workout work got underway, this weekend. About half to maybe 2/3 of the fence is completed. All the posts are in, concreted. They're just stretching fabric now. We have a lot of time for this weekend, to finish it up. And if they get off the job early, sometime during the week, they'll be hard at it again. So, look for a tight turnaround on that project.
Thank you. All right, commissioners have any questions or comments on what we've been updated on? Great stuff. All right, let's get into it here. New business. We got our closed plan inventory review.
Okay,
It's video first, yeah.
okay.
Love the videos.
Yeah, before we get into that, I just kind of wanted to share our schedule. Just so we know where we're at with everything. And as motivation for tonight to get caught up, because we're close. We have the ability to get caught up tonight,
Cool.
which is awesome. Okay, so here is our schedule. And there it is. So we kicked off in January, finishing up our facility, essentially assessment and inventory today. So we will be working, actually, this isn't the updated one. I updated it elsewhere, I guess. So we're finishing up streetscapes and the greenways stuff today. And special use facilities. So we'll have 3 facilities we'll go through tonight. We'll talk a little bit more about the survey results, and goals and objectives was really all we were going to originally focus on today, but I think we'll be good getting to everything that we need to, which will then allow us next month to kind of get into the needs assessment, and which was really originally the only thing we were going to talk about next month, but we also felt that it was a good idea to add the reviewing of the draft intro and get into the summary of findings as well. That'll kind of help free up some space a little bit later this summer, and then get into the action plan and capital facility plan in August. And then hopefully in September, we'll have a close to a draft, a great draft agenda for your draft version for you to have reviewed by September, so then we can start that. I think it's a 60-day process with RCO that they need before we would get it back in November and in time to do the 2 hearings with city council. So a bit aggressive, but I don't think it's unreachable for us. So that's my motivational speech for today. Let's go. Yeah. Okay, so streetscapes and special use facilities. So we'll start with the streetscapes and greenways. And I can't remember if we tried to watch this last. This
Yeah.
was another one we tried to watch that didn't get us very far. Oops. Get it loaded up for you guys at home. Okay. There we go. Okay, you got it? Thumbs up, Amy? Yep.
Yep, looks
Got
good.
it. Got it.
Lost it like right here. Yeah. Spaces we maintain, yeah. this point. All right. Okay. And you know what? I don't think I have the streetscapes one. Maybe I do.
I feel like.
We did all the edits last.
We did.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
we
did.
were just, okay, we were just watching.
We just did
Okay,
last time
I didn't
ago.
think
We did
so.
last time.
Okay, good. Okay. I was like, I thought we weren't, I didn't think we were needing to do that this time. Okay. Sorry, it's been a long day. Okay. So that's the video.
I had a quick question.
But we
You
didn't
showed,
talk about special use facilities, did
We
we?
did not.
Okay.
The new, in the video, there's some of that new signage that's around the city now. Where did that come from? Where did they find it?
No, I think it was a combination of Public Works and the Downtown Business Association combo. Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, if you'd notice it, all the new wayfinding downtown. Yep.
Cool, thank you.
Yeah, so for the special facilities, yeah, let's start with Ivy Green. Let me get back to share it. We'll probably sway away from the electronic dance music for this one. Although it gets you going. Okay. Yes. Yeah, so if you've never seen the inside of that little building as you enter, this is it. Yeah. Colette got out there at a great time. You guys know Mick? Mick is not as great as they get. The amount of time he spends every year in the cemetery just cleaning projects. He's really our big connection with groups that need to do service through the Navy. He's former Navy.
Love it.
Yeah. If you follow us on Facebook, we posted last week about the new flagpole at the senior center. He helped get that all put together for us and then did some additional landscaping around it. Saw that we had excess brick at one of our sites and basically just took it upon himself to kind of rebuild everything, which is awesome. Yeah, he's a great volunteer. Okay, so Ivy Green Cemetery, and I'm not sure, Amy and Jim, if you have this at all. That's the disadvantage of not being here, is having paper copies. But if you have notes, please feel free to chime in. I'll just go through what we had for Ivy Green previous in 2020, and then what is new that we're recommending for 2026. So improvement recommendations in the 2020 plan that we removed was replace entrance sign. What we've added in 2026 as recommendations, maintenance concerns, lack of staff to maintain. We do not have any dedicated staff there. I think that's something would be essential moving forward if we plan to actively try to further develop the site. And it's just nice to have someone that's dedicated at all times. We have a staff person now that loves to work there. That's her favorite spot, Juanita. But it's not her primary job. So she tries to get there as much as she can, but really Mick does a lot of the day-to-day stuff as a volunteer as well. Information improvement recommendations. I forgot my glasses. This will be interesting. Improvement recommendations. We added, or we kind of reworded some things, and created their own bullets for replacing the inner roadway, repairing grave sites. Those were kind of combined previously. Repair and realign the walls at the Spanish-American War and Civil War plots. So there's work that's needed to be done there. That's a new bullet. Another new bullet right below it is the adding of the 2 flagpoles at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier for Merchant Marines and first responder flags. And then we revised that last bullet to state develop master plan to include potential. Instead of considering relocation. So we felt that it would be best to have a full design and plan of what that should look like. And note it as such. So there's no restroom. Yeah. Yeah. So those were our staff comments related to the cemetery.
Questions, comments?
Yeah, you guys, hey, Tim?
There's been a lot of.
Just a second, Jim. Okay, go ahead, Jim.
Go ahead, Jim.
So this is one of those, special use areas where the cost of burial ought to support the maintenance of the facility. I think it's crazy that the rest of the Parks Department has to support maintaining this and I know when I was on the council, the burial fees here are really cheap compared to every place else. So I think you really ought to look at the fees for burial to support the maintenance of this facility, because I just think it's crazy that the rest of the Parks Department have to support this with a full-time position when we have so many other maintenance needs for the general public. That's it.
Richard Dawson?
Yeah, last few days, people have been talking about this as a park on the internet, I mean. And as a park more, and one of the big topics of the conversation is that it would be an ideal location for a dog park. Which I don't agree with, unfortunately, but that's been a developing conversation on the internet with a bunch of people.
That and the fencing, the new fencing will keep in the zombies was the other comment I
Oh,
saw.
no. Oh my gosh. So, to Greg's point, I wondered about the off-leash dogs. Is it already being used or are these just random dogs walking through the
Yeah,
park?
so typically
Cemetery.
cemeteries tend to be no dog zones.
Yeah.
Because people don't pick up after their dogs, unfortunately. I mean, that's the hard part with this site is at any point someone could purchase a plot in any part of the cemetery. So to Jim's point too, I've talked to a few council members, because I've been in the cemetery business previously, being in Parks and Rec, and I think rebranding the cemetery is a good idea, but also not to have too many master plans on the shelf, but I think we need to create an identity, a long-term identity for the cemetery as well, which would also go to Jim's point that it needs to have a business plan as well. And I think the current view that I see from talking to council members about the cemetery is they don't really see the cemetery as a revenue generator when it can be. we're not talking big dollars, but at least set it up where it can be successful and at least cover some of its costs. I mean, we do our own digging, which is something that could be contracted out. But we use equipment we already have, so there's not really necessarily dedicated equipment that's there. But yeah, I think it really needs to have a business plan for that site. So then we can set goals and for staffing and just the overall management of it. And it should be, I agree too. I wish, too bad Jim's not on council still, but I agree too that it needs to have dedicated staff because we're already short staffed in the parks and we're polling to just try to make it look like a decent site. I mean, you look at what we have and then you look at the other alternative in town, which is a bona fide business. And ours just kind of looks like an afterthought, honestly, but
I know it's required.
yeah, I'm not sure what I haven't got into the cemetery stuff a whole lot yet as far as what our state requirements are, because most states too allow you as part of property taxes to be able to collect a certain amount that goes towards the management of your cemeteries as well, which I don't believe we're collecting at all at this point. I mean, it's very small, but it's at least something. And I'm not sure, I don't believe we're reinvesting necessarily our perpetual care funds either. So, yeah, that's something I've got interest in looking at too.
I think that's how we might have ended up in
Mhm.
business. Because,
Yeah.
that wasn't required.
Yeah, when it comes to cemeteries, in a perfect scenario, your perpetual care fund helps offsets your operating and balances the budget. And so you just draw from the interest earned over that year to be able to help it really create its own enterprise fund, essentially, is what you really want it to function as.
I have a bunch of relatives here.
Mhm.
I do like the discount for city residents.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
maybe you have two different charges.
Sure. Yep.
One for people that pay taxes and one that for people that
Yep.
just like the site.
Yeah, I think once we get through the pros plan next year, that might be a great topic one month is to just kind of talk about the cemetery and what opportunities there are. So the previous cemetery I had, we rebranded it because the neighborhood used it as a park. And so it became essentially, we referred to it as a park, but it was Normal Hill Cemetery and Arboretum. So it was also an arboretum. And we had a state tree grove that was there. So we had, I think, 45 out of 50 states represented that trees could grow, their state tree could grow there, but just kind of an interpretive type panels. So made it more visitor friendly, more approachable than what what a cemetery should usually is viewed as. So yeah, I think we have some opportunity.
Be a good,
Okay.
no power lines.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, anything else someone wants to add to that one? Okay. All right. We'll move on to Gold Mountain.
All right.
Get rid of this. And Colette, I've watched this a few times. It's like I keep thinking we need to go back when it's nice.
Does tell the story.
It does, yeah. All right. looks almost kind of James Bond-esque. This might be a fun off-site meeting at some point too, if we ever wanted to meet out at the golf course.
Dinner?
Yeah. Yep, so this is their yeah, just real briefly, do you guys know a lot of history of the golf course at all? Some? Like, I
No.
mean, it's amazing to hear some of the information. Like, this originally was just going to be a cart barn, was their original plan. They still haven't covered the golf carts, but they realized once they set it up, the amazing views you had looking outside of it right here and the opportunities. So they've taken a lot of advantage of that. The other great site that if you've never been to it is the Wedding in the Woods out here that they created. $10,000 price tag to create it, and per use they charge $2,500 as a wedding venue. And how many, do you guys remember how many events? Something crazy. Yeah, it's something crazy, like almost 100 or more than 100 events out there this year at $2,500 a piece for a $10,000 investment. Yeah, so a great return. So yeah, we'd like to get back out and kind of reshoot the, Colette and I went out on the front 9 on the cart paths and should have either put the windshield down but a lot of work being done out there with the Cascade improvements, the course improvements, some tree removal, opening things up, getting a lot of light to the greens that haven't seen light, which helps the health of the greens. And a lot more work to be done this fall on that portion of it. Okay. So going to the golf course, a lot of changes here. I asked Daryl for his input, and so kind of asked for it a little bit. So there's in the 2020 plan, individually kind of noted the different types of practice facilities. We combined all of that in the updated plan. So that first bullet point is really combining most of the inventory into one spot. I didn't really highlight in the description what changed because we just had Daryl rewrite the description for that and wanted his input on that. So that's the description of the course is basically brand new. Combined some other things as far as the snack bar and the food service and pro shop area. A new one we added was the full service maintenance facility. As far as the inventory, that wasn't necessarily noted before. Wedding in the Woods venue was added, which wasn't there. And then the option for foot golf, having a foot golf course out there wasn't listed as inventory previously. Management concerns. Previously in the first bullet, it noted that there was a slow growth in the number of young golfers taking up the sport. We really don't, and talking with Daryl, he doesn't really feel that's an issue anymore. I think especially golf is one of those sports that survived through COVID and has really thrived since COVID, and especially in youth. So he doesn't really see that as necessarily a concern or an issue anymore. Added to the concerns, continuing to find high quality, motivated, customer service oriented team members, which everybody, is kind of in that same boat, and being able to afford good employees as well and keeping them around. Also added keeping both courses in championship condition while still maintaining a high level of use. On a nice day, they average between 500 and 600 rounds of golf in a day between the two courses, which is unreal. My big concern is the wear and tear on the course. So it'd be interesting to kind of watch from my fresh eyes to see what it looks like late summer, early fall, compared to how it was in condition in the spring. But they put a lot of people on that course. If you were to look to go play, for example, this Friday, you may see a tee time available after 4 p.m. or 5 p.m., but there's absolutely nothing available starting at 6:30 in the morning on, because they're all booked up, which is a good problem to have. At the same time, we should probably look at our fee structure too, because there may, not to get too greedy, but there may be some potential to create some additional revenue that in turn, after 2028, when loans are paid off, will benefit the Parks Department in general for capital after that time frame. We added a highly competitive golf environment, which large public course inventory, as a potential concern, just because there's a lot of public courses in the area. Maintaining competitive price structure, like I mentioned, is going to be a constant challenge and something that we'll need to keep our eye on. And they actually do a really good job. Columbia Hospitality does a great job just kind of keeping their eyes peeled on what the market's doing. Limited parking due to at least the portion of the parking lot. So if you're familiar with the site, the former GM started a side business, I think in the early 2010s, of golf cart rental, and then sold the business, and that business is still there. And takes up a large portion of the parking lot when you enter the site. Looking at, should we be looking to reclaim that area and utilize it for additional parking? Because even with the size of the lot there, and having 2 courses, people are still having to park on the entry road to get in, because there's that much use of the course. Right now, I looked up the revenue for the golf cart rental company is $1,500 a month, which we can easily make up somewhere in the long run if we gave them time to relocate elsewhere and then reclaimed that area back. Plus, the area where the cart storage or the cart rental company is at is close to the Wedding in the Woods site, so it would provide better accessibility to other portions of the course. So that's something that we want to look at addressing. Improvement recommendations. So we kind of combined a few different things here, modified. So developing a preventative maintenance and replacement program for structures, equipment, parking, mechanical systems. My understanding of what it seems like is we kind of look at from year to year what our needs are going down the road, instead of planning for and budgeting as part of our revenues, budgeting funding, so then we have the funding to purchase something, as opposed to just identifying, okay, well, we're gonna buy this piece of equipment because we need it. Actually have a replacement plan put in place for each of the pieces of equipment. So then we have those funds set aside, because we may always have a surplus there, but we may not. And if we at least factor in the replacement of a lot of these items, that'll at least help us better budget down the road, especially if we hit a year where we've got 8 or 9 pieces of equipment that have to be replaced at the same time. So remodeling clubhouse, again, some of these are all modified. The next couple, we're going to be looking at some opportunities to just kind of keep there hasn't been much remodel done or improvements done to the clubhouse since the late 90s. So looking at some opportunities there of how we'd like things to look. Do we repurpose some of the open area, or how do we want to utilize that facility moving forward? Replacement of on-course facilities, restroom facilities. There's definitely some facilities on the course, and there's a budget right now to add a new restroom or replace a restroom that's out there right now. So that's one of the more immediate things we're looking at. is legitimizing the restrooms that are out there. We have a couple porta potties here and there and some very small singular units. So making them more kind of nicer, user-friendly. The Cascade course redesigns on there, and that's probably going to be a 5-year project. So over the course of the year, they're going to try to 5 years, try to do as much in-house, but do some contracting. But hopefully within a 5-year period, we're close to having that course all redone. Added the last 2 items, develop a plan for the covered storage facility. We do rent the carts out there on a 3-year replacement plan. So it's not like we're owning them and trying to extend the life, but at the same time, they're exposed to a lot of weather just sitting out there. And there's a lot of carts out there. So coming up with a better long-term plan for at least helping protect those carts from the weather. And then I forgot to ask what this was. The development plan for replacement of Clubhouse FFE. Not sure what FFE is. I forgot to ask Daryl what that was, but that was a Daryl addition. So any comments on the golf course? That was kind of a lot of stuff with golf.
I had a question on the golf cart rental.
Mm-hmm.
So is that lease what the city's got set up, or is that through Columbia?
It's a lease through the city.
Through the city?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
And then when is that, the specific?
I think it's a year to year, but it's got a separation clause like anything else that's out there, whether it's 90 or 120 days that we could end that agreement.
And this was Scott Alexander,
Mm-hmm.
and then he sold it?
He sold the company. He
Okay,
sold the
I don't
business.
think I
Yeah.
realized he sold that.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to say 2017 or 18. And ideally that would have been the time that the city separated with the company.
Okay.
But they just continued, and I think the new owner just took it over.
Okay.
Yep.
Any commissioners have any questions or comments?
Yeah, so we're looking at a revenue of about 18,000 a year that comes in for that. And like I said, even just adjusting some of the pricing structure minimally would cover
Yeah.
that.
Is furniture, fixtures and equipment.
Okay. Yep.
No.
Google.
All right, Jim's got his hand. Yeah,
Jim,
I know.
My big concern with this golf course thing is, this is one of the premier public courses in the United States. I'll say it's maybe top 10. I mean, it's a fantastic course. My concern is they have set their sights on sucking up all the excess revenue when our bonds come due. And I think you need to slow them down on their course redevelopment so we can share some of that windfall. I think it's asinine that as soon as those bonds pay off, we dump all that money into the course redevelopment when it's already doing very well. And I also think that, they ought to look at some kind of software like a lot of companies are using. I know my airlines uses it, kind of variable pricing based on demand. So the price goes up when the weather is nice, or the price goes up when everybody wants to play on Saturday. I think they can do a lot better that way. And I think for the Parks Department as a whole, we have this huge opportunity when our bonds come due. And I think the golf course is lobbying the council and everybody else to say, we're going to spend all this new money because it's going to come due on the golf course. And I'd rather that redesign take 10 years or 15 years, because it's really not going to make that much difference to the revenue they get in. Anyhow, I think, I think you need to slow their ambition down just because they're the golf course. That's my saying. Okay, I'm done.
No, I appreciate that, and I can comment on
Please.
that. So when I came on board, Brian and I and Mike sat down because the renewal was up and they were looking for a longer term agreement. And we agreed, or basically told them we want a 3-year agreement. Essentially, so Brian and I can kind of get our feet on the ground. And there's things I don't like in the contract that really benefit Columbia Hospitality. I think that um, obviously we want some incentives built in, so then they work hard to promote the course. But I think that based on other agreements I've seen and managed within with golf courses, um, I think Columbia Hospitality makes out pretty well at Gold Mountain. So there's definitely some negotiation that needs to happen, and as well on the end of what that contract looks like and what the benefit to Parks Capital looks like once that bond is paid off. So those are items, Jim, we don't have the solutions, but those are items we're looking at in this next, really, it's next year, because we're going to need to be looking at putting the contract back out about a year from now.
Yeah, it comes up fast.
It does. Yeah.
Director, who dictates, fees for a round? Is it Columbia?
Essentially, we take their recommendations because they're the hired hand, but we could walk in and say, these are the fees that are getting charged. Ultimately, the city council adopts fees.
Okay.
Oh, and then one other point, Jim, they do have a dynamic pricing structure now. So if I was, not that I ever have, but if I was to go play at 7:16 in the morning, it's going to cost me one price. And if I go play the exact same 18 holes at 9:15, it's going to cost me a completely different price.
Oh, well, that's good. Thank you.
Yeah,
I'm
so they
glad.
do have a dynamic pricing structure in place right now.
Okay, that's good.
Yep. Not that I've ever done it for research purposes.
I used to work in Lakewood. They have a the,
Yep.
then I'm-
Yeah. Yeah, and it's different. I mean, it's a different play too. I mean, when I went and played on Sunday, seeing people with their travel bags, not like travel golf bags, but their travel bags because they've come here from somewhere else. It still blows my mind to go out there midday on a Wednesday and have the course absolutely packed and the parking lot packed on a Wednesday.
That's what you need is a little, place to stay off the course.
Right. Yeah. Almost create condo units or something, where the golf cart area is, or
B&B.
yeah. Yeah, we can. Yeah, we could do ADUs.
Yeah.
And there's 4 approved plans right now the city has out there. Okay.
There's good.
Figure out where they have Josh. Oh, I went out of order. So we'll move on to Jarstead.
I saw the golf pro out there at Gold Mountain. Senior British Open? Is that what it was? Yeah, Mark Knowles.
Yeah, so he's one of the Columbia Hospitality staff, and he oversees their golf operations, right, Brian?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
he's
that's
not like
pretty
the
cool.
Pro anymore? The PGA Pro out there. No, it's
They
not.
worked for a little while.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so he's I think he's basically works out of their head office now.
Right.
Let's see.
Local guy. Been
Oh,
around
yeah.
a long time.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so this one should be pretty straightforward. Just a reminder, Jarstead Park is, we have it on our asset list as a public amenity and park, but it's managed, maintained by Public Works. Yeah, it's for key. Yeah, you see a lot of people will park right outside to utilize the pathway system. Yeah. It's a cool little spot.
So no staff has to go and maintain, like do the lawn or. okay.
Nope.
Are we storing anything out there? I mean, before, we had the greenhouses up here. I know the greenhouses were up. That's where they were.
Yeah, we don't have anything to lay down
Nothing
there
out there.
right now.
Nice. Nice.
All right. So under the 2020 plan up above, improvement recommendations, it noted develop a trail plan and consider historical signage. We kind of feel like that's been addressed out there because there is signage and they do have a complete trail that's out there. So we have removed that. As far as inventory, we added the last two bullet points, Pleasant Valley Walking Trail and interpretive signage. And then as management concerns, we kind of revised how it was worded. It previously said confusion over Public Works managing park, and have it saying now public confusion over access and management of park
Mhm.
is a concern. Is they see it as a park.
Mhm.
If they know that that's within the city limits, they may call us and ask questions. It's not super clear that it's managed by someone else.
Mhm.
Not that it's a huge issue,
Mhm.
but just something to note. And then that was it that we had.
For volleyball standards, what are we talking there? Just the post, there's no net? Is that what we're getting at there? Okay.
BYON, if that's a thing.
Is it?
It is now. Is there, what am I trying to get at here? Why do we even have this on our inventory?
Because I mean, my take on it, and it was there before I got here, it was that it's a city park. We may not maintain it. There's a couple other spots too that we don't maintain that's on there.
Okay.
It's, yeah, Lillian James Walker. When we're looking at a 10-minute walk, it's an advantage to have these types of facilities listed on there because they are utilized as parks.
And there's talk about the kids after all.
It is Gorst Orchard there.
Yep.
It is this.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
Forced orchard, just
Yeah.
like that. Just gonna do that to me,
The other side of the tracks.
Literally.
It's this good.
Yeah.
I'm good. Anybody got anything? Good old Jarstead? All right. You need a reservation, Commissioner?
Okay. Donuts get keys. Making sure you're still there. Okay, so on to the goals.
Cool.
Let me see if we had supporting. Oh, yes, we do. Okay. wonder if I can do it from there. I'll do it from here. Just bear with me talking to myself here. Okay, I don't know if that's even worth looking at for you guys at home, if it's even big enough to see. Yeah, you should be able to zoom.
Yeah, I've got it on my laptop. I can see it.
Okay.
go.
Oh, I can do that. That works too. I don't know if it's clear or not.
No,
No.
nothing.
Okay, now I'd have to figure out how to get back out of that. Oh, there we go. Okay, so we'll kind of just run through the goals. Just in general, we didn't have any additional goals or really changes to the wording of the goals. But we did have some comments within the goals. And I don't know if, do we want to tell them where some of the comments came from? So we thought for fun, we would use ChatGPT and look at the results of our pros plan and submit information from the pros plan that's related to the different goals and see what ChatGPT spews out.
Cool.
And so, and obviously it's just kind of like a starting point. And so that's kind of where some of our updates, and then each goal has a new objective. And so it's the last one on each. That was an additional objective that was recommended through that review process. So that was kind of the basis of where we started. We've been curious about ChatGPT and figured it was time to test it out and see what it can do.
Like it.
And honestly, it was pretty accurate. So for example, 1.6 in goal 1, develop a park and rec system that is functional, diversified, attractive, and available to all segments of Bremerton's population. Previously, it stated emphasize acquisition and development of parks in
I think that's the new one. you're reading.
underserved areas, is what it said previously. And now the updated recommendation was emphasize acquisition and development of park and underserved areas using equity-based mapping and community feedback to prioritize locations. And so it gave us just a little bit more detail about not just what, but how, which was, yeah. So that was one update. We didn't have any other general updates that we wanted to make to the other objectives. And then the additional recommended objective was to continue to provide restroom facilities that area available and that are available and well maintained in all high use parks to meet public demand for basic amenities. So again, through the surveying process, obviously restrooms was a big concern or comment that was made. And so that's what it pulled from the survey responses related to this goal. So that's what we came up with.
Any commissioners have any questions or comments on goal 1? Great.
Okay, so goal 2, 2.4, we're recommending changing 2.4 to establish replacement plan for department small tools and supplies. And it's just the wording that we wanted to change. It originally said upgrade the department's rolling stock and mechanical equipment. So just kind of just words. Yeah, making it more clear what it
That's
is.
2.4.
Yeah, 2.4. So that was something that we that we came up with. And then the revised recommendation was for 2.6. It originally was remove encampments, vandalism, and graffiti as quickly as possible. The recommendation is to remove encampments, vandalism, and graffiti and hazardous waste, drug paraphernalia as quickly as possible in a coordinated effort. Continue cleaning restrooms twice daily, I think is what we added to it, just to clarify that we do get in there twice a day. So, and the coordinated effort, we weren't working with Common Streets previously, and now we have this organization that the city partners with, and so we thought it was important to include that in there. And then 2.10, which is the new recommendation, continue proactive safety plan in collaboration with local law enforcement and social services to monitor and improve park safety. Again, coming out of comments that came up in the survey of people's concerns with safety within our park system.
Great.
Sorry, I'm trying to remember that you can't see it. But maintain parks and facilities to protect assets and ensure the park system is clean, green, and safe is the goal.
All right.
Yes, yeah.
Do you have any questions or comments on goal 2?
Okay, goal 3, provide provide and or facilitate a variety of recreational opportunities for a spectrum of ages, interests, and abilities. 3.5, we're recommending to revise that one. It says to work collaboratively with the YMCA to promote use of Glen Jarstead Aquatic Center by city residents. We recommend revising that to oh wait, I forgot 3.5, sorry, 3.6. So I didn't like the word work collaboratively without saying continue to, because to me work collaboratively means we're not doing it right now if it's in there as a as an objective. And so I just felt even adding continue to meant that we're already doing it and it's very important. 3.5 is a revision suggestion to solicit feedback from both users and non-users of recreational programs to identify and address gaps in awareness, accessibility, and content. Also revised the 3.7, continue to grow adult athletic programs and utilize a portion of the revenue to make enhancements to facilities. That's kind of something that we're looking at too with our park shelter rentals. I think we have an opportunity, even though it would reduce the revenue into the general fund, if we can create some internal funding, so then we aren't having to annually ask council for general tax funds for a project. If we can generate revenue and utilize some of it that we're generating now, instead of it going back to the general fund, at least pull a little bit of it and be able to utilize that to put back into our system. I think that would be, especially for softball players, as example, would be very valuable. We're not talking big capital type projects, but like adding distance markers on foul poles, putting caps along the fence line, make it look a little bit,
New basic.
yeah, new bases, making just smaller improvements where we just don't have the general budget right now to do that.
Another great example of that is the netting that we've just put up there. I mean, obviously that's gonna have a lifespan on it. So. things like that.
Yeah, on the shelter side of things, my previous job, I had a park reservation program where all of the revenue from the park rentals didn't go back into the general fund, but went into a special revenue account that was used to build more shelters, which created more revenue. And so we had our own internal funding source that if we didn't use it annually and you wanted, and it was managed by the Parks and Rec Commission, you could hold off for a year, 2 years, and you'd have a couple $100,000 built up to be able to put into the development of something. Again, going to council and asking for 200,000, who knows when that might happen, or we'd be having to write grants and do other things just for these special amenities. So it's something that it would be nice to propose and see, see what sticks as options. Because I feel like anything's on the table for now until you're told no. Yeah.
Very.
So
Do these goals, do you have, you know, things, 30.7.
yeah. Right. Yeah, and we're that objective, and yeah, does the objective then go away? And that's the hard part is does the goal go away before the objective? The objectives all stay until the goal's reached completely. Yeah, it would be. Yeah, and that would be because otherwise it's gonna be a continual unless the city decided that they wanted to self-manage the pool. No, I get that. Yeah. Yeah, and that's kind of too why expanding some of these descriptions for me, I felt like it gave something, but it didn't say a why, which a why is a little more measurable than just stating a fact to me. But yeah, no, I get that. Yeah, for sure. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so goal 3 again, provide and or facilitate a variety of recreational opportunities for a spectrum of ages, interests, and abilities. And the new one, we already said, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Any commissioners have any questions, comments on goal 3?
So I have a question about 3.8. So in relation to the pool, I mean, there's a lot of coordination with the school district and the swim teams as it relates to the pool. And I just got the summer schedule and I'm like, oh, bummer, I have to swim between this time and this time when I'm lap swimming. But it's great that we have this. From my perspective, it's great to see this sort of interaction with the school district to encourage sports and recreation for the young population in the city. One, what else are we doing? And in particular, I'm thinking, we have this, it sounds like, I don't golf, but it sounds like this, world-class golf complex. Is that an area we've explored or should we?
With
For our students.
looking at, yeah. And that's something I probably need to get. I don't know if you know anymore, Brian, about whether high school programs or if they utilize that or if they're utilizing. Yeah. A good example I'll give you, Amy, on something that I'm working on right now is one of the planning commission members reached out to me about a program she had heard about related to essentially soccer court facilities. That's this company, this nonprofit's putting together, and they wanted to do 26 courts by 26 related to FIFA World Cup. They've already hit 26, but they want to do 26 more. And so I've reached out to the school district and am hoping that we can create a partnership up at, is it Ridgeview? View Ridge, close.
You were there.
Up at View Ridge, before they start really doing, I know they've got their plan in place, but what if we partner on a facility? District 2 does not have sufficient park spaces, but what if we partner in the development of, and they would manage it on their side, but it would be open to the public, a facility on site up there at View Ridge that was open to the general public. It wasn't just for the school. So looking at, joint efforts to develop, and maybe we help manage, I don't know. But I was looking at the opportunity of a site that's already under development, and how can we partner as a city to not only improve what they've got there, but be able to meet the need within that district. And so to me, that kind of speaks to that one too. That's a proven, okay, we've done this. We don't have a joint use agreement with the school district. I'd love to see what we could do to come up with something where maybe we can start offering certain programs and utilize their facilities. And obviously in turn, we'd have to bring something to the table that they could benefit from. But I think even just us getting this survey into the email boxes of every parent in the district was a huge win for us this year. And I think that's kind of was step one, was just getting communication out there. Because we went from under 300 to over, well, 900 responses. And I attribute a lot of that to getting information into the hands of the parents that we didn't have before. So yeah, so I think those are some of those things that we can utilize as measurable pieces.
Yeah, that's great, Tim. Just, both entities looking at their resources and how we can,
Right.
expand programming for everybody. That's wonderful.
Yes, and we get fed from the same
Right,
from the same
right.
location too.
Yeah.
That's one thing I mean, even internally, we forget sometimes between departments is we're getting fed from the same pizza.
That's just really nice.
Oh, it is. Yep.
Parking.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay. Anything else on goal 3? Okay, goal 4, foster public involvement in the operation and programming of park systems. So 4.2 added a few words, nothing crazy. Continue to update the department's internet presence by making the web page more interactive, and then we added accessible, and provide a simplified online registration, added reservation and programs evaluation, and then added the word process. So added 3 words to that. 4.3 was revised to diversify marketing through enhanced use of social media and word of mouth campaigns to increase visibility of parks, facilities, and recreation programs. So social media and word of mouth were 2 of the more suggested ways through the survey to get the message out. And then the new one for this goal, 4.6, develop a community ambassador program to inspire volunteerism, meaning stewardship groups, trash pickup opportunities, and strengthening community pride. So we've already kind of started with stewardship groups. I think all of our forested areas, a designated group that's working on making improvements. But there's also some programs that a program Colette's gonna champion, a trash pickup program that she wants to. Yes. Yes.
All right.
Yeah. That's sure.
Maybe get the service clubs to buy a bunch to give away,
Yep.
or.
Well, we have people all over that are doing it on their own now. Yeah. Yep. Legitimize it. And honestly, a lot of people that I've ever interacted with that pick up trash don't really want much recognition, but at least they feel like they're part of a group. Yep. Yep. Yeah, so more just streamlining and legitimizing things that are, for the most part, already being done. But again, this is just an extension of our ability to be able to get everything maintained and taken care of. I'm still amazed at the forested areas, how much we both rely and appreciate on volunteerism to help keep things maintained.
You know, one thing I tell people that come through Forest Ridge Park, even if they cannot come to our work parties, you're walking in here, you're using the park, and I stress it. A lot of people are afraid to call 911. I said, they have a system, only because I know, because I volunteer for the police. But they have a system. If it's not a high priority, they do listen, they record it, they document everything. And that's what we also need, is that, it's just see something, you know, say, take a picture.
Say something.
Yes, and it does make a difference.
For sure.
Yeah.
And Colette, related to sorry.
No, go ahead.
Someone else
Commissioner.
was talking. Okay. The garbage pickup, it's just been my experience raising a Eagle Scout. The young people are looking for this to add to their applications for jobs, college applications, all of these things. So having some recognition of that they've joined a program and in their city and are working to clean up the park system, I just think that there probably isn't. If we don't have something like that now, that's something that some of our young folks are looking for.
Another opportunity to partner with schools, because we can see if there's any ecology clubs or something that want to.
Yeah.
And it would get us in the door to the schools a little more.
Yep. Absolutely. Yep. Okay, goal 5, develop cost recovery and expense tracking for revenue generating facilities to ensure financially responsible operation. Sounds great. Yeah. The only change is an addition of 5.5 that we have, and that's to evaluate the feasibility of offering tiered pricing or subsidized recreation programs for low-income residents to increase equitable access. So we don't really have any opportunity right now for reduced costs, and I think this is something that could be a partnership with the foundation. I would love to see the Parks and Rec Foundation take this on as a project. They're not they're a small but mighty group. They're not a high producing foundation, but I think this is something that could be a realistic and attainable goal for them to help take on and help manage.
Mr. Any questions or comments on 5?
We're, Jim's idea about the golf person, about having software, or the price, using a shelter, for example, in the middle of winter during the rain is a discount.
There you go. Yeah.
At 4th of July at fire.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, ours, it's a good point. I mean, it's the primo times. We're graduation season, getting shelters. Okay, goal 6, provide trail opportunities, connecting parks, natural lands, and neighborhoods. So 6.3, we had a revision. It states provide and secure additional resources to better manage. And then the revision is maintain and clean trails, especially in high use and natural areas. 6.7, we had a small revision, enlist community organizations, and then the revision part is or develop stewardship groups to perform trail improvement work on a regular basis. And then the addition under this goal is 6.8, prioritize expansion of multi-use trails for walking, biking, and running, and connect them to neighborhoods and community destinations. So that, again, that came from the surveying, a lot of trail and access connectivity type responses that we received within that.
That's our thing.
Yep. Yeah, and obviously we need to work with the transportation plan as well. I think that's the key partner there, is make sure our needs are
Like
noted.
a block that's been revised.
Mhm.
And then suddenly the next block, you can't get your wheelchair off the sidewalk,
Yep.
you know.
Yeah, or even looking at the TIP, the transportation and improvement plan, and trying to help steer some prioritization towards those connecting areas to schools and to park space. Okay, number 7. Protect and manage natural resources while encouraging appropriate public access and enjoyment. 7.1 is a revision and simplification. Preserve and protect natural areas while addressing encampments and public safety issues to maintain these areas as accessible assets. And then the addition is 7.7. Enhance public access and visibility of natural areas while ensuring safety and environmental protections are in place. So those are the 2 changes that we have for goal 7.
Richard, have any questions for Carmen? Great goals.
Yeah, and I think to your point, Greg, too, I think in future meetings, it would be great to set aside or plan for times to do goal reviews, kind of like what council does. And then we can discuss the different aspects, how we're trying to achieve those or not. And
Yeah.
I think any of that feedback will help us 6 years from now. For sure. Yep. Okay.
Great.
Cool.
All right,
Yeah.
good stuff. We ready to get into survey results?
Oh, we didn't do that already? Okay. So I did send out to you last month, you received kind of the full, and I think maybe I put it in the packet again this time just for fun.
You did.
Just because I knew you wanted to see it again. So what we'll go over is the summary. Which again, I don't know if Colette, you want to say anything about this summary? This was another document where we said, you know what? Let's see what Chat GPT comes up with.
Yeah,
Yeah.
got a lot of information. Yeah.
We went and revised things, but it was really helpful. It was just the first thing.
Mhm. Yeah.
Sure.
Yep. All right. Page 12. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of highlight some things through here and just kind of explain some of the summary pieces. So first 2 questions, it's always positive when you can note that 93% of the respondents rated that the overall quality of our park system is either good or average when you've got a good, average, below. So 93% had us above average, or at average or above. This is one I really like too, especially after you read. There were some critical, constructive comments people made, but at the same time, to know that of even those comments, 97% of people still feel that parks are important to the creation of community and for the city of Bremerton, which is great to see. So top reasons for park use. This is there'll be kind of a theme throughout some of these that it kind of helps explain this a little bit. so top reasons for park use, let's say that they had 10 different options to choose from. 78% of them chose enjoyment of outdoor recreation or outdoors and relaxation. That doesn't mean that only 22% don't. It's just that's 78% of them chose that as an option. And that's really apparent in the improvements residents want, improved safety at 41%. It doesn't mean that the other 59% don't want safety improved. It just means that 41% chose that as one of their top reasons, things that they wanted to see within the parks system. So if you really want to look at it, you could say the top 5 improvements residents wanted to see, and then just ignore the percentages on that. So improved safety, cleaner facilities, more program and events, which I think is great because we haven't really introduced a whole lot for a while. Better trails and pathways, and reduction in homelessness. Nothing really a big surprise in those comments there. Safety perceptions. So at the bottom there, overall safety, 82% of people at least said that, again, they could have been critical about condition of restrooms or other things, but still 82% of the respondents still felt safe within our park system.
So if they don't know this in front of them.
Oh, shoot. All right, Amy, are you seeing the document I'm walking through?
Yeah, I can see it, and I've also got it up on my laptop. We're good.
They just have the residual up there from, I forgot to close that. That's the thing I learned last time I did this, or last month. You still see that same document?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think last month I learned that I needed to close it out every time, because when I reopened it, it would just want to go to the previous one that was shown. But since we changed programs, she still saw. Okay, overall system grade, and that's where that 84% comes from. It's not that 40% feel that we're above average, at least 84% feel that essentially they grade our park system at a high C right now. Neighborhoods needs being met. You can kind of combine those two, and 78% feel that their needs within their community are being met. Themes within the feedback that we received. The 3 big themes were good variety and number of parks and facilities, accessible and conveniently located. Parks are well maintained and cleaned were the top 3 that came up there. Criticism, again, nothing super surprising. Concern with the restrooms needing improvement. Park maintenance and renovations to certain areas, and safety and encampments remain a concern. And then this next page is just kind of a summary of this of that piece. Yep. Yeah, so it kind of gives you a little bit of a snapshot. Yeah. Different information, but still summarizing what was there. And then the comments, did I get, yeah. So the top priorities within the community. This was kind of a little bit of a surprise to me, but I've talked to some people about it and they totally see that that it makes sense to them, but I haven't been here when there was a skating facility.
Yeah, we had an indoor. City.
Yeah, but the most comments we received of anything was for roller skating facilities to be established. And so the way I look at that, outdoor roller skating facility or flat surface facility would be, okay, let's say that 5% of the community roller skates. What else can we look at utilizing the space for?
Mhm.
And a great example we talked about tonight is bike polo. Could you develop a outdoor skating rink that met the needs of individuals, but is something also designed that bike polo could be on? And now we've got an opportunity where we can combine some usage, and now we meet the need of more people within the community, as opposed to developing a $200,000 amenity that meets the need of less than 5% of the public. So just that as kind of an example. Um, let's
Hey,
see,
Tim?
pickleball. Yeah.
You probably don't know this since you're new, but we used to have an indoor roller skate facility that closed in the last couple of years. It got bought out by a storage facility. And it was just above the
Yeah.
Lowe's complex in East Bremerton. So that
Well,
may be
you said
that may
we
be the
used
reason for
to.
these comments.
You said we used to though, Jim, right?
Yeah, just it
My
closed in the
understanding
last.
is that was outside of the city limits.
Yeah, it was, but right, yeah,
No, yeah, I
right.
did learn
But
that. Yeah.
yeah, okay. That I'm just saying that might be the source of some of those comments because
Oh,
it was.
it is, but I also think skating is coming back too.
Okay,
Um,
yeah,
yeah, but I do think skate facilities, unfortunately, they've, gone by the wayside in a lot of communities. I think the interest is definitely coming back for
yeah.
that. But yeah, that's definitely, I think, where a lot of those comments came from. Is at this
Okay,
point, I think the 2020 plan, maybe it hadn't been gone for very long, and now it's been a little while, and I
yeah,
think
I think
people are
so.
missing having it around.
Yeah, just I didn't know if you knew that.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, thanks.
Okay.
Yeah,
Pickleball courts, obviously, I don't think that's a surprise to anybody. And the note on there as well, looking at dedicated versus non-shared. An example, that's going to be a battle for us for a while, just because pickleball's not slowing down, is like Minette Park, which is a neighborhood park meant to service the neighborhood. Most mornings it's being utilized for pickleball by outside individuals that are coming and playing with locals, but you may have two Bremerton residents and 10 residents from somewhere else in the county. Um, and the good or bad um, of a connection tool that's out there for I think mostly they use it for pickleball in this area, is you can go online, see where pickleball's being played. They'll actually list the level of play. If you're a 2.0 to a 5.0, who it is they're trying to round up, and you can meet new people and play with them for 2-3 hours. But play at your skill level. I think that's great. But the problem we run into is when we don't have dedicated facilities, now they're monopolizing, and we don't currently have any sort of rule in place of etiquette of use, how long someone can be on a court before the general public can come in. And oh, by the way, if there's also a basketball and tennis court, now you're talking about 3 user groups trying to use the same space. And I'm really glad in the design process at Haddon that we went away from the pickleball lines and just left it dedicated for basketball and then a couple smaller kids games. Because again, not that we don't want to support pickleball, but we could be overrun very, very quickly.
the interesting things, Paulsville has that.
Mhm.
And that's was an underutilized retail facility.
Mhm.
They propped it up by putting pickleball in there. And then when the business area recovers, the
Mhm.
city can shed it something,
Sure. Yep.
So it's kind of a good way to keep retail facilities from writing down if you can clean all the other business
Yep.
down with it.
Yep.
About
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
It's, yeah, Pickleball Kingdom. Yep.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I talk in terms of outside people coming in, but we also need to remember economic impact. They're coming here, they're either gonna gas up here or they're all gonna go to lunch together, and that's 10 people that weren't here to have lunch before. So it's not all negative. There's benefits that are built into build into these systems and what's going on. So we just want them to spend the money in the right place and leave a donation before they leave. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Okay, pump track. I think it's been a few years since you're going to see an article. If you look at the Kitsap Sun, they're doing an article on a pump track potential. It's kind of regaining some momentum. I think it's been about 4 years since I've really seen a lot of traction on that. And so I've met with a few people in the community about some potential options. There's nothing surprising, hopefully, I don't think. In the article, I didn't really say anything. It was more like, yes, we're talking, we don't know where. But we've looked at some locations and but pump track is something, and I talk in terms of the pros plan is I think remind me, Colette, pump track was noted in the 2020. So it wasn't really a priority, and they got out and filled out the survey, and so now pump track and bike infrastructure for beginners and youth is something that's going to be in the pros plan as a
And
priority.
I'm sorry, Tim, just to interrupt. I'm not even
Mhm.
sure what a pump track is. I guess I didn't grow up with one. What is,
So a
what is,
pump track, and originally they were dirt. Is so essentially the concept behind a pump track is that you get your momentum going, and then you get into a small course that has bumps and banked corners in it, and so you shouldn't have to um, pedal while you're in it. Your momentum should feed you throughout the entire course.
Port Angeles.
interest?
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, they originally were a lot of dirt courses because they were easy to set up, just the labor. But anymore, asphalt is kind of the way to go with those, so it becomes more permanent. And then even taking it beyond that for landscaping, a lot of places now are just surrounding it with synthetic turf. So then you develop it and then you back away and then you just maintain as needed. And there's not constant maintenance that's required of it.
So it's like a roller coaster for bikes.
That's great. I grew up on a farm,
Sure,
so we
yeah.
didn't have any of this.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, for sure. Yep.
Yeah, Amy, like if you Googled this and if you like watched it online, like when the riders are going over like what you would call a jump, they don't necessarily leave the earth. They're
Huh.
literally pump their handlebars up and down while they're rolling over these, and they're gonna get speed off of that.
Mhm.
It's pretty
It
interesting.
sounds fun.
Yeah.
It's cool. Yeah. Water recreation, this is another one that doesn't surprise me, that there's interest in splash pads, you know, dedicated facilities where kids can interact and the systems are built for human hair and skin and all those good things. And amenities for kids to play with, you know, things dumping over, but something dedicated to water play. We have great decorative fountains that should be utilized for decoration and not necessarily always interactive, but and then nature trails, nature and access to trails obviously is something that was within the top 5 for priority. Illahee Preserve is listed there because it was mentioned a few times, but we don't manage Illahee Preserve, but is something that's obviously utilized adjacent to Bremerton. So common issues, obviously encampments, restroom closures. I thought the closures part was kind of interesting because I mean, we have our restrooms open year round. So the closures could be coming from maybe Warren Avenue. If more people have noticed that recently, but typically if our restrooms are down, they're not down for very long, before we get them all reopened. Just comments related to, some suggestions. Dog waste bags, that's something we talked with Public Works about last week. They have a supply of them and would be happy to supply us with the stands. We would just put the post, but they would order the mutt, what do we call them? Mutt mittens. They're called different things all over. It's basically the company.
Trash that we pick up.
Yeah, yeah. So we have the ability in-house to, Public Works already buys these things, and so they said they would be willing to supply them to us, the bags and the receptacles as well, so we wouldn't have to go out and purchase them. So that's a good partnership that we can expand upon there.
That's 2 today.
What's that?
It's 2 today.
Yes. Yeah, and then obviously security cameras is something that's suggested. We have no cameras within our park system right now, but that's a conversation that we're going to be having soon with our IT department, because we do have some areas that are hit fairly often, that we at least need to put a trail cam up or something to be able to help us with some recovery. And I know Brian spoke of it months ago, of the stolen wire out at Pendergast. Well, it happened again. We don't have any out there. No. Yeah. 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 So it was hit again. Public Works has had about $20,000 worth of fencing, black vinyl coated fencing stolen from multiple locations.
Wow.
And that's why we're a little scared with the cemetery right now, because the project's not complete, but materials out there that it's going to walk away at some point, and we've warned the contractors to make sure that they are aware. Yeah, it's crazy. Yep. Accessibility and inclusion for programming. As we're upgrading and developing parks, we're making sure that we have accessibility included within that, and sensory friendly spaces, which is great. Senior center improvements. We had a healthy group of seniors that provided paper copies of the survey. HVAC we know is an issue that's needed there. They're bursting at the seams there. So long term, again, looking at, what is the future of the senior center, and what might it look like, whether it's there or at a joint facility, if we develop a rec center and senior center combined at some point. And then the visibility, we kind of talked a little bit about communication. So we know that we need to do a better job on communicating and getting things out to the public. So when the number one comment there, most participants said they were unaware of current programs. And part of that, could be, I went in and talked to numerous middle school classes. I don't expect middle school kids to know off the top of their head what we offer. But at the same time, it could be parents too of students, and we don't run a whole lot of students or young adult type programs. So that's probably something we need to look at what's already being offered out there. And that'll be part of our general evaluation of our programs anyway, figure out what's available in the community now and where are the missing holes. So something like that, gets identified in a survey, and most likely it'll be followed up with a more in-depth survey related to programming that we can disseminate and get out there.
The senior center, we have a membership, we have a membership, like report that they've ever run to show where their members live.
So I don't know if they've submitted a report before on that. But that's something we've talked about in terms of our fee structure. And in Bremerton versus non-resident,
Those will just be
in pricing
curious about
structure.
If there's groupings,
Mhm.
if there's large groupings in different. Or satellite facilities.
Sure. Yep.
You know, you'd need.
Mm-hmm. Or right outside of town. Yeah, if there's an area. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll ask Lisa on that to see if she's ever run. Yep. Yep. Yeah, and we should be able to, because I think they all get entered into Rec Desk. So we should be able to, if they provide full addresses, we should be able to provide reports on a map and do that. Yeah, no, that's a good
You don't
thought.
have to be in- Live in the city to be a member of that, though.
Yeah.
They just pay a higher fee, correct? Yeah. that's
Yeah,
right.
we have a number of
Yeah,
non-resident
yeah.
members of the senior center.
Yeah.
If we were to relocate or, yeah,
If we're missing a group.
or if they're only all East Bremerton, what if there was something on the west side? Would they be more likely to utilize it? All right, and then again, just kind of general summary sheet. We won't get into the quotes, but you received some quotes. These are just some summary of quotes, but these are what we'll utilize. We'll go back and kind of pull out all quotes that we find and utilize that within the update to the pros plan based on the different sections. So obviously, like Pendergast specific questions, we'll plan to put those in the Pendergast page, and a lot of our comments, and there's some general more professional type things like the benefits of type statements that we'll put in there too and pull some newer stuff. But a lot of I think our comments in the current plan are 2013 to 2019 or so. So time to get some of those updated. But so that's kind of that there.
Great stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Commissioners have any questions or?
That's funny. I didn't even go by the order. I just realized that. I just jumped into the goals and objectives and let's just go. Yeah.
Thank you.
Didn't reply to that one particular question.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was, yeah, some of those were weird because it seemed like they were simpler. I get like further down, maybe people only
They just
got
burned
through,
out
they
a
got
little
burnt out
time.
after. But I think our overall fully completion rate from really when the survey first went out to the end hovered right around 70%. Yeah. Yeah, because it was a 14 and on average it took 14 minutes to complete the survey.
Very good information.
Let's move on to commissioners' comments. Let's start online. Commissioner McDonald, you got anything for us tonight?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Just we're at commissioners' comments. You got anything you want to talk about?
Oh, yeah, I apologize, but the next meeting I have booked a cruise and so I won't be available to attend.
Oh, okay. Life's tough. Sorry, buddy.
I know, sorry about that.
Yeah.
So
We're just all living vicariously through
Yeah.
you, Jim.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, it's like I said, it just happened, you know.
Yeah.
Send postcards.
Hey, thanks for letting us know, Commissioner. Appreciate it.
All right.
Commissioner Waterman, anything for us?
Just a comment. So, I think I mentioned earlier I had a big birthday, and I had friends from college coming from all over the country, and we visited a number of parks. So these are people who live in Minneapolis and Boston and San Diego. Great park systems, big cities, and they had a chance to check out Evergreen Park. I took them on a little walking tour of the pocket parks in Manette, and then also my closest park, which is NAD Marine. And I will just tell you, they were so impressed. And what they said was, for a city the size of Bremerton, they just were amazed at the facilities we have for outdoor use. So I felt pretty good about that. And I think everybody else should too, especially our Parks and Rec staff. So just wanted to give you that feedback from folks who don't live here. And I will tell you, I took them to Olympic National Park, and the weather was really bad, but yeah, they didn't really say the same thing. So just so you know.
Awesome. Thanks, Commissioner.
Thank you.
All right, Commissioner Weigel?
I don't have anything.
All right.
Yeah.
Commissioner Dawson?
Every time I come to these meetings, I'm just really in awe of our staff. That's. And we've been pretty excited about kind of revitalization. I'm thinking about what the future might be for parks. Just.
Appreciate that.
I really am excited about you coming, Tim. And I'm also excited about really what your staff has been doing all along.
Mhm.
I second that.
It's amazing.
Yep.
You know, because you hear all this stuff going on, and then you think about the human beings that are dealing with it
Mhm.
and making it happen.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that.
Good.
Yeah.
The only thing I had a training at the conference center about 2 weeks ago, and on a couple of the days I was doing training, we had a crew out in the plaza outside the conference center, and the guys had up all their proper signage that they were working. They were wearing all their PPE while they were working, and I was just very impressed, and I just wanted to give that feedback. Hopefully, you could let them know that I appreciate them and that they were working safely.
I will
Well.
definitely pass that along.
Yeah.
We knew you were there. It was all staged.
That's the only one that I do. Other than that, it was. Francisco.
We
Francisco
do
was out
that
there
for the mayor
and
too.
a couple
When
other
he's
gentlemen, but, they were out there cleaning the cracks out in between all the
Yes.
bricks. It was very tedious work that they were
Yes.
doing. They were very methodical on it.
Yeah.
It was appreciated.
Well, we roll out the red carpet.
Oh, yeah.
No, as you know, I mean, there's a lot of detail to some of the areas that they manage, and sometimes it takes until June for them to be able to get to them,
Yeah.
unfortunately. But
Yeah,
Yeah, no, they work hard.
The sign, their signage saying,
Yeah.
hey, you know,
Yep.
they're making noise, you know, they're out there running backwards.
mhm,
They're making noise. They were letting it be known, but had all their PPE.
cool.
Right on, guys.
Good.
No, it's great. And, from a maintenance and operations standpoint, obviously, we want to put a good product out there, and we want to do good things within our parks for our citizens here at Bremerton. But with that, when it comes to the maintenance and operations side of things, that's the Debbie Downer end of things, if you will, is that, we do run into issues like vandalism and age of buildings and things like that, and trying to put, maintain those at a safe and cleanly facilities, takes a lot of work. But it also takes a lot of money. And it doesn't come with people or money when we develop these. So also something, having the commission be advocates for this too, and have your voice heard is very important to this department.
Yeah, even just reopening Haddon last week, great. But at the same time, you're like, we haven't really done much maintenance.
Yeah.
Or had to over the last while, and now this is just something we're adding on to the staff. And even right before we opened, it's like, there's work that needs to be done there still, but we wanted it to look good. We wanted everything to be clean cut, and there was additional work that they had to put in to get things done, but I know, yeah,
That's right.
yeah, yeah. No, they work hard.
With that, meeting adjourned.
Well, thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
luck tomorrow,
Bye-bye.
Jim.
Thank
Hope you
you.
get
Bye
better,
bye.
Amy.
Bye.
We'll see you.